every visitor, every person they meet. They measure every word they say and overthink every action they make. And they constantly fight their number one fear, being a failure to God.
That's right.
And on top of all of that, they also bear the weight of other people's expectations and judgments. A pastor is a man made of flesh and blood, just like the rest of us. But more often than not, we judge him way harsher than we judge our own selves. Preacher Keith is a great man and an amazing pastor. He has a relationship with every one of us, and he cares about all of us. He loves to joke around and make us laugh, and he's there for us through all of our moments, the sad ones, the happy ones, and all of the ones in between. He not only knows about all of our burdens, but he helps us carry them as well. We all know how great he is and how he is always there for us, and for anyone who needs him. We see him at all of our own events and all of the church events. But there are parts of his life that we don't get to see. He's always strong for us in the face of our weaknesses, but what we don't see is how he prays and cries for us and for our members of our family, and how our burdens affect him just as strongly as they affect us. We see him handle disagreements and confusion in the church with wisdom and grace, but what we don't see are the doubts and fears that plague his heart, and how he worries that he isn't doing enough, or maybe he's doing too much, or he's pushing us too hard, or he's not pushing us enough. We see him answer all of our calls and make the visits all the time, at all times, day or night. But what we don't see is how he sacrifices time with his own family just to be there for ours, and how he feels himself being pulled in so many different directions, and it breaks his heart because he can't be everywhere at once. So then he blames himself, even though he's doing everything he can. We don't see the countless nights that he loses sleep praying for us, begging for God to move on our behalf. We don't see the times that he wants to fight our battles for us, but he can't, so he gives us advice instead. And usually he watches us mess it up. We don't see all the decisions that he has to make about the church and how those things weigh on him, and he questions whether he's making the right decision or the wrong decision. 1 Timothy 3:5-7 tells us what a pastor should be, and Preacher Keith meets every single requirement. But we have to be there for him too. We are blessed with a wonderful pastor who constantly leads us to Christ. The Bible told us how he should be, but it also tells us how we should treat him. Hebrews 13:17 says, "Obey them that have rule over you and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give an account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you." We should have confidence in the man that God has sent to lead us. When it says that he keeps watch over our souls, he does. He gives us the word and he explains it and helps us to try to apply it to our lives. He helps us carry our burdens. He's always praying for us and with us. And when we aren't here for whatever reason, or when we're not at the function, or when he hasn't heard from us in a while, he worries about us and he prays even harder. He already carries more than we will ever see or know about. We should be covering him in prayer, lifting him up, and being a friend to him the way he is to us. Our preacher embodies everything that a pastor should be. So a pastor's appreciation should be easy for us as a church. It's easy to appreciate someone who's constantly there for us and who loves us in the way that this man loves us. I've known Preacher Keith for most of my life. He's always been there for me and my family. I know a lot of pastors, and I'm close to a few of them, but there's no pastor that I trust more than Preacher Keith. The last year and a half have been especially hard for me and the girls, but he and Miss Lynn have been by my side offering prayers and support. But the most important thing that they've offered me is their love and friendship. When I count my blessings, I count both of them twice.